Well, hello, boils and ghouls. Are you ready for Bruce Campbell battling the army of darkness? It's going to be a jolly, groovy good time. So, with me, I have Taylor Lynn. How you doing, Taylor?
Doing good, Jedi Bill. Doing real good, man.
Uh, so are you ready to get this show on the road?
Yeah, for
All
sure.
right. Okay. The link to the screening room is pinned at the top. You can join us there and watch along. Let's get this. Let's kick the tires and light the fires, boils and ghouls. And away we go. Let me know if in the chat if you can hear the audio and picture well. I need to know that. Just put a 1 or 5x5. Let me know. Linda was played by Bridget Fonda. Or, yeah. Oh, yeah, I did. How do you stop it? Hmm. This song, March of the Dead, was composed by Danny Elfman, who was um, part of Oingo Boingo. You know, it's a dead man's party. Yes, I believe it was. I don't know if it was the lead singer, but I know Danny Elfman, whichever one he was, Oingo Boingo, did the March of the Dead. Drop the Oldsmobile. You know, I don't think that car would be drivable after an impact like that.
Yeah, definitely not.
Oh, you liked her in Lake Placid? Good, cool, Robert. So, let's see. I can. Where's the? Looks like the volume controls all the way up. That's good. Good. Everything appears to be working good. This is a cult classic. This movie. No. Fancy pants. I love the pit scene. Hello, the Catman, Dee Dee Myers. Good to see you. The link to watch the film is pinned at the top. Hence, buckets of blood. I was like, I love, I love that they filmed that. Yes, yes, Dee Myers, I am doing great. Couldn't it be better? I'm alive and doing well and enjoying a great movie with you, great folks. Got the wrong guy. Ow! She nailed him. She clocked him right. She... And they push him in the pits. Apparently, these witches don't dissolve in water. And here comes the spikes as she's battling the witch. Oh, the prophet. I love this shot. Right on the right on the money. That guy with the mustache at the time had the world's biggest bicep in the world. but that was 92, 93. So what do you call that? A Fu Manchu mustache? Get away from the spikes. Oh, she wants you. She wants you, Ash. That one ugly witch. And now the leader knight is going to challenge Ash. Big mistake. As with one shot of the shotgun, blows his sword in half. My boomstick. That's very cheap for a shotgun. Shop smart. Shop S smart. I think this way you filmed this somewhere in California. And he's dining. They're whining and dining him. He's got all the ladies. Blow. If any of you had ever been in Planet Hollywood, they had especially the Hollywood. There was a Planet Hollywood in Phoenix. They had stuff from the movie there. That one. It's no longer in business though. They always do that, don't you know? Let's go. Very well choreographed fight scene. Now the quest for the book. The Book of Dead. Necronomicon. Yeah, so the blacksmith at the time had the largest recorded bicep. Groovy. Hello, the last Victorian. Good to see you. It's like Goats of the Iron Hand all over again. Yeah. Yeah, last Victorian. Where you use the sweater as a horse blanket. And she slapped him. Give me some shit, baby. classic line. You gotta love this movie. Uh, there was a German knight in the 30 Years' War who had McClellan fake hand. I don't know, but pretty interesting, last Victorian. These trees might be a dead giveaway. I mean, I don't know if they have like trees like this over in Europe or whatever country they're supposed to be. Uh, what series was I going to do next? Not. I don't know if I'll be doing a series. I'll be giving a be a different horror movie each night. Every Buckets of Blood theater. Um, and we had a Friday the 13th coming up. I believe in August. So probably do Friday the 13th. Cut for some, but back in August or into July, beginning of August. I love this scene. I love this scene. That's classic. Hot chocolate. Yeah, that's about what my stomach's doing right now with all the spices and the little nitro. Yeah, really? You last Victorian? Then? Love the horror. Love the sounds. Good. You could quote. You could go on quoting this movie. I'm the man with a gun. It's a really good sound effects. That's got. I still think that's a great job. A Foley artist finds all the sounds for the movie. Hey, Snowdub! Good to see you.
Hey, Snowdub.
Yeah, I have. I have the poster as the background. Right. What's that? I love that. What you got on your face? Oh, Robert Greene. I know what I could do as a next series. I mean, it's not too bloody, but they are horror sci-fi genre. I could do a director's cut of Aliens, and then Aliens, and then I won't do the rest because that's all you need with the Alien movies. I was actually thinking maybe doing a zombie series or let's see. I've got Creep Show I could do. Um, I was even thinking about doing Poltergeist as for one of them. You asked No Kid if he wanted to watch this, but he wanted to watch Loki instead. Ugh. That's a fine. I'm sure you're gonna watch it eventually. I love how he's just talking to himself. Wrong book. Yeah, wrong book. Uh, no worries, Last Victorian. I love how he does this. Not exactly, did he? Wow. Can't believe this movie's like 27 years old. 93. These effects are pretty hold up pretty well, I think. I love it. Oh no, not the not the freaking berries. What's up, D-Day Doug? Good to see you. Sounds. Hey, Mr. CCDV. Good to see you, man. Thank you. Sounds like when I don't know how to pronounce something. Yeah. It looks like you when you don't shave, Mr. CCDV. Basically. Spinach. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, that big guy with the mustache had the biggest bicep at the time. Just pillow talk, baby. I do smithing work, and I'm envious of those biceps. That's cool. Ah. Was that a scream? Damn. Greg Nicotero and his effects for K and B did the special effects on this. Makeup effects. He ain't going nowhere yet. I love Sam Raimi's shots. It makes him easy to beat the old bones. You got captured by a deadite once. Now you're feeling better. That's good to hear, Mr. CCTV. Alice McKay played the board queen. Emmeth Jean Davis. Yeah, Embeth Jean Davis played Sheila. Had to look it up. No worries, Robert Green. Boobs, yeah, boobs. Side boobs. Just me. Mr. CCD, Danny Elfman composed and wrote the March of the Deadites. Danny Elfman was the lead singer. Which part of Oingo Boingo was he? Can you tell me that? I stand by you. She's awfully pale, though. Thank you, Mr. CCTV. He was the second music rights on Oingo Boingo under Richard Elfman. Richard left the band and married Jenny, and Denny became lead singer. Cool. Composer. Awesome. And here's the piece of music I was talking about, the March of the Deadites. Yeah, but they're bones. He played a femur. Oh God. Excuse me. Yes, Danny Elfman is a great composer, Mr. CCTV. Really, they actually quoted. I didn't. Yeah, I never caught that until now that they quoted Shakespeare. I never caught that until just now. They have no vocal cords. How can they make sound? They're bones. They have no vocal cords. Did they misquote the Shakespeare line? Damn it! I have to watch it again. I might have to do another one to play this again. Sally for it. It really didn't make sense, did it, Mr. CC, that they could talk and they have no vocal cords, no flesh. Good night, Mr. CCTV. I wonder if he meant that literally by putting your backbones into it. It turned the Oldsmobile into a helicopter? Oh, that's awesome, DJ Doug. Run over. Oops. Oh. You ruined, you crashed your car. I don't think he'll be driving that car again. Well, she's really going for his friggin' berries, isn't he? Backbreaker. Reinforcements. Here comes the cavalry. He just smash him into bones. Oh. Is it, say you? How do you guys feel about the next one be Shaun of the Dead? Shaun of the Dead. Do I think they can make this film today? Yeah, I doubt. Yeah, I doubt it too. Yeah, no. Sounds cool. Okay, very good. We'll do Shaun of the Dead Tuesday, Wednesday. They had some really good sword fights in this. They did a hell of a stunt here. You know, it makes fighting with a torch seem so cool. Bring you back to the days of Jason and the Argonauts, right? So, the Last Victorian, the Camarilla trilogy would be Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and Near the World's End or something. I think that's the trilogy. You can tell me if I'm wrong or not. Ah, she got her complexion back. Oh, named after. Okay, cool. Popular ice cream in the UK. Awesome. There was there. Really, I didn't catch that. I would definitely have to watch that to catch them. That guy had like 3 arrows in him, and he's like, "Ah, yeah, I'm shaking off. I'm okay." Exactly. He messes him up. Hit again. And Sam Raimi's brother, Ted Raimi. Basically. Cool, I will, Last Victorian. Thank you. Seemed to me like he'd be out. I don't know how many rounds that gun held. It's supposed to be Winchester. Like. He just never runs out of bullets, does he? $11 if you top up. Okay. You could cycle it fast. Thank you, Last Victorian. What a great movie. Sam Raimi and I.
Yeah, it was really good.
So I think we decided that we'll on Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, we'll be doing Shaun of the Dead.
Nice.
And then I'll pick one out for next Friday / Saturday morning. So Last Victorian says 11 if you top off the you don't know you could recycle that fast. Yeah, that's the movie. That's where movie magic comes in. Last Victorian, because I'm like, she should be out of shots by now. That is a good fun movie.
Yeah, that was really, really good. I liked it a lot. I noticed one thing too, like in the past part though, Ted Raimi, I think, or Ted was in it as well, where he was like that one, kind of that. I think he had like that shovel or whatever, or that one part he was talking to him. So
Right.
yeah, Ted, he throws in Ted like 2 times. Right at the end and right in the middle.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it's a good way to end the trilogy, and I know then obviously, of course, they tried to give you the Ash versus the Dead,
The Evil Dead, yeah.
Yeah. But
great.
Yeah.
I mean, it only ran for 3 seasons, but it was great for those 3 seasons.
Right. Yeah. My only curiosity is, I don't know if there's still talks about Army of Darkness Part 2 or not, because that'll be interesting if they decide they want to do another one.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, he's getting up there in age, you know. He's getting up there, but
yeah,
I think he enjoys playing the role of Ash so much that he'd probably do it.
Yeah,
you know.
Oh, definitely.
It'd be interesting to see what they come up with if they have, you know.
I remember the original plan. At one point, I remember the one plan was they wanted to do a kind of a dual sequel, like the one sequel. So, Army of Darkness Part 2. He was going to do a sequel after this movie, and then the other one was going to be Army of Darkness. That sequel to be a sequel to Evil Dead, the reboot one, but they were going to have Ash in both of them. They were going to have Sam Raimi, or not Sam Raimi, but Bruce Campbell in both of them. At least that was one of the talk. I remember that was one of the deals, but yeah, that obviously fell flat. But
right.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I still kind of hope maybe Army of Darkness Part 2 comes out. Maybe, you know, still hope for that one.
Wasn't there an alternate ending to this? They did a.
That's what I heard. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the ending. I guess what I heard was the original ending that Sam originally had was not really going to be a happy ending. It was actually going to be kind of a depressing ending. It was going to be like when he comes back, the world is just chaotic or something like that. And so that was going to be the ending. At least that's what I heard. At least.
Yeah, and then they did the alternate ending as part of the Ash versus the Evil Dead series. So.
Wait, so the original Sam Raimi ending actually was put into the series, or this ending?
Yeah, into the series. They put the alternate ending, I think.
Oh.
Into the series. I think that's what. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Where it goes to 100 years. Woke up 100 years into the future.
Yeah. Okay. Oh wow. All right. So that's how they played that out. All right.
Yeah.
Well. Well, I guess they could. Yeah, I mean, well, it all depends on what they. I mean, it really depends on what Sam wants to do. I mean, you know, as far as like how he wants to handle the project, I guess. I mean, he can do whatever, but I know right now he just got done, I think, filming the second Doctor Strange. So
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, with that, so yeah, whatever else happens, I mean, I'm done with whatever Sam Raimi wants to make next, you know.
Right.
And yeah, hopefully Bruce Campbell is back, man. Hopefully we get some more Bruce Campbell stuff.
Yeah. Definitely.
Mhm.
Hope you enjoyed my Buckets of Blood theater. We already decided we're going to do Shaun of the Dead come Tuesday night, Wednesday morning. So we can do it. We can doing a watch party every. Well, for me, it's still technically Tuesday/Wednesday morning, and, and then we'll do it Friday night/Saturday morning. I know it's hard because doing it up, you have to go by the Eastern time and whatnot.
Yeah,
This
that's
is
true.
fun.
Yeah, man, this was great. This was this is a great night Friday night movie into Saturday morning.
Right,
It's one
right.
of those things. It's like
Yeah.
yeah, it's a great movie for that. That's
Mhm.
for sure.
Yeah, and I don't know if you see. I could do Del Toro's Pan's Labyrinth. I could do, but it's a lot of it's subtitles, so you have to read a lot. But it's such
Yeah.
a great movie.
Oh,
It's such a great movie.
Yes, I love that. I have that movie on Blu-ray. I love that movie. It is like, yeah, I mean the subtitles do go pretty fast, but I mean it's like watching a book, you know. It's like one of those like to me it's so awesome. It's a great visual movie, and Doug Jones as Fawn is just so great.
Yeah, right.
And his character is, I mean, and of course, you know, you're also rooting for the little girl and you know, and stuff that happens. But yeah, that was another one that I mean I liked so well. I kind of hope that there is a sequel to that one in the making, because I thought that was really really well put together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We're just talking about horror movies and whatnot. V-Star, and your Last Victorian says he's planning to do a live watch along called Nuclear Nightmares, all nuclear films. That sounds cool. Nuka could do Nukem High, and there's a lot of Troma ones there. And Class of 1999. But I was I'm definitely gonna do Snowdub's. One of Snowdub's favorite ones says on here. Maybe we could get Snowdub on the panel to help commentate over on next Friday night. Maybe, who knows? But I was planning to do it. Yeah, doing The Thing. John Carpenter's The Thing.
That's another great movie I like too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so right up there, man. Oh man, yeah, that, and yeah, I know you were talking about aliens and stuff too, but yeah.
Yeah. Those are sci-fi, but they're still horror film, you know.
Absolutely. That's what made those movies to me so great. I mean, yeah, you got the sci-fi elements, you got the horror elements.
Yeah.
And they're just flat out great alien movies.
Now, I've got the director's cut of Alien. I don't have the director's cut of Aliens. I have the normal theatrical release of Aliens.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
All right. Yeah. I mean, yeah, the both cuts of Aliens is really, really good.
Yeah.
To be honest, I mean, I like both cuts of Alien 1 even too. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, I feel like some people I know didn't care for the director's cut because some of the things in the director's cut version of Alien 1 kind of like shows what's going to kind of happen, where in Alien 1 you didn't really know what was going to happen.
Yeah.
Like, there's a parts of the tail and everything, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, both versions to me are good of Alien 1 and Aliens, and the only cut I always recommend for anybody, if you're going to watch Alien 3, you got to watch the director's cut version of that one, because that theatrical version is horrible.
Yeah, I didn't like Alien 3 at all.
Yeah,
I did it.
It's a tough watch.
Yeah.
It's ugh. I know.
I was
mean,
so upset that they killed off Hicks and Newt.
and yeah, like the two best
Yeah.
characters of Aliens with Ripley, and then they're both dead right away in the beginning of it. It's like, what? Come on, really?
And the fact that it comes out of a dog.
Yeah, well, see, okay, like in the original version, that's what it does. It comes out of a dog, and then in the director's cut version, it comes out of a cow.
I never did. I never seen.
It's actually technically, I got to be technical with it. It's not director's cut; it's a producer's cut. Since David Fincher left the project, he was. I mean, he started working on Alien 3, but he wasn't getting the way he wanted to do. He wanted to do more of a renaissance time for Alien 3. And so the producers were like, no. So they did the jail, and then he was having a hard time with that, so he walked off. And it was pretty much the producers that finished that movie.
And Last Victorian says he's also going to try to do something called Shop Life, live streaming from workshop, teaching people vintage. What's that? Metalworking skills. That is awesome, Last Victorian.
Yes, awesome. Very awesome.
We look forward to. I look forward to seeing those. Definitely tune into that, and we'll help you get the word out when you before your streams. Where's your coffee? I don't know where your coffee is. B-Star. Love you, B. I hope you're feeling well.
Oh, yes.
But another one I recently bought 2 movies just so I could do these one. I bought the Shaun of the Dead because it was on sale. I always get them on sale, and I did. I got Scary Tales to Tell in the Dark. Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. It's another one done by Del Toro.
Yeah.
Kind of creepy.
Did they have what's her name? Katie Holmes in it? Is that the one I'm thinking of? Or is that the?
I'm Katie Holmes. I don't know. It's a lot of young new actors and whatnot.
Okay.
Yeah.
That one I didn't see then.
Well, I think I'll be able to host another watch party for that one too.
That's gonna be cool. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I like. Yeah, there's a couple of Guillermo del Toro movies I still haven't watched yet. I mean, I missed out on Shape of Water, and I think he did like that. Was it Mama or something like that? Yeah. Like me.
Thank you for yeah. Okay. Well, I'll put it right there in the chat for you. How's that? It's easy. I don't want to have to go jump through all the hoops and go to Discord and so we'll just there's a link in the chat. You're moving your new workshop soon. Last Victorian says, with all your twos bringing with you, and you have power tools. Lath was made in 1901. Queen Victoria was still on the throne when it left the factory. That's cool. That is cool, Last Victorian.
Wow, that is really cool.
Mm-hmm. And like I said, Friday the 13th coming up in the August, so like towards the end of July, we can do a Friday the 13th kind of trilogy.
Nice.
There's 3 films.
Oh, nice. Yes.
What's up, V-Star?
Hey, what's up, Buttercups? I said buttercups, so that way I include everybody and not singling anybody out. God
Yeah.
Your big anvil was cast in 1767. My gosh, that's an old anvil. How much does it weigh? I don't
my
know how
gosh.
much an anvil weighs. I imagine
Oh.
it's pretty heavy. Maybe 35 pounds. I don't know. Maybe 50. I mean, they're pure steel, right? Anvils are like pure steel.
Yeah, you're going to be lifting up a lot. Yeah, I was going to say 250 pounds. That sounds about more right.
250 pounds. Damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's going to
I
keep
don't
you
know.
down.
That sounds right. Okay.
Oh my goodness, that would. Yeah, you put that on you, and yeah, you definitely can't walk anywhere. Mm. But yeah, I was kind of bummed, like now I think about him. I wish they would have did that Alien 5 reboot where we actually would have got Mute and
right.
You just said his name. I forgot.
Dark Horse did a really good story of Newt's Tale.
Oh, okay.
2-book comic book series.
Yeah.
I love Dark Horse. Dark Horse did a great job at making Alien. Stories and whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like Dark Horse, like they do, like they did all the Alien and Predators and Alien vs Predator stories, and
oh yeah, I have some of those comics,
Nice,
yeah,
because they just recently did the Thing too, on Dark Horse comics. I mean, I gotta give Dark Horse a lot of good compliments about that. 'Cause, I mean, at least they're giving they like all the horror movies and sci-fi movies for us.
Right.
At least they're the only ones that attempt to make it now.
Uh-huh.
Nobody else wants to touch those.
I like the Thing too. That was good.
Nice. Yeah, I saw it. I gotta read it.
But I got a lot of horror films to be shown, so I got Creep Show and
nice.
Return of the Living Dead Part 1 and 2.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. What about your got Halloween movies?
Yeah, I got Halloween movies.
Nice. Let's see. Now you got to do a Texas Chainsaw Massacre one too. Since you got your Avatar now.
I'm planning on it. For sure. As far as the Texas Chainsaw, I don't really like the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre 1974 and the sequel Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2.
Interesting.
I mean, I didn't like any of the reboots or remakes, not all that much. I really didn't like Part 3. Part 3 has this one with Matthew McConaughey and
No. The third one was with Viggo Mortensen.
Yeah, he's also in it. Yeah, Viggo Mortensen's also in it.
Yeah, no, Matthew McConaughey came in the last one. He was in the fourth one with Renee Zellweger. Yeah, that one was far out there too.
Isn't it the same picture? God, I get them all mixed up. It's been so long.
Yeah, no, because I did I watched 1 through 3, and then the fourth one. I remember because like that one was like the one with the aliens and stuff like they got like really went weird with it. But that one was with Matthew McConaughey and Renee Zellweger. That was like the big one, and or with those two, and then. But yeah, the third one, Viggo Mortensen and Ken Foree, were in that one, in the third one.
How you doing, Last Victorian?
Hey guys, how are you?
Good. How you doing?
Yeah, no, I'm good, guys. It's 7:30 in the morning for me. Sorry, I've just got to turn something off.
Yeah.
So
no problem.
I just enjoyed watching the film this morning. So thank you very much for that.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. It's something I'm branching out new. I've been such a horror fan for my whole life, and so
yeah, it's time to share.
Yeah, and I got all these great movies, and why just have her do a midnight show and watch with friends. It doesn't matter who shows up. It's all in the name of fun, and it's awesome.
Yeah, well, it's like I was planning, as I said, doing Nuclear Nightmares. I've got a thing for like doing nuclear war films and like post-nuclear war survival films, and I've got some really good ones stacked up. I kept on trying to get Bird to watch Threads. Now, I don't know if you've ever seen that. That is the most terrifying anti-nuclear message film you could ever see, and it's also got one of the best IMDb credits because there's some poor woman who's known as Woman Who Urinates on Herself, and it's her only film credit, and you can see her face, full body, and everything just in this one shot, and she's just immortalized as Woman Who Urinates on Herself.
It happens,
Was that?
I said pee happens.
Yeah. Especially when you're watching like the entire town of Bradford get turned into like a small and ruinous crater. It's not much different than the real Bradford, but yeah. But no, it's if you want to watch it before I stream it, because I don't know when I'm actually going to be doing that, watch it. And I think it's available for free because the US Library of Congress put it in their archives.
Okay.
Yeah, I know Margaret Thatcher and Ronald Reagan both watched it, and he said that's what pushed them towards like nuclear disarmament. Signing loads of treaties during their time as like prime minister and president in the US, just because it was that impactful on them. And it's genuinely terrifying because it starts like 13 months before the war, 13 weeks before the war, 13 days before the war, 13 minutes during the war itself, and then it's just the same sort of like time scale into the future, and it's really, really depressing. Like you see on one of the VHS covers, because it only had a limited VHS release, there's a guy who's like wearing a traffic policeman's outfit, and he's holding like a military rifle because they drafted in any civil servant, anything like that, to just do the policing after the war. And like people who were raiding like what was left of shops and stuff, they just get lined up and shot by the police, which was a legit like thing that they were planning on having to do. Not that they were planning on enjoying having to do it, but when people are raiding limited food stores and they're looting people's houses and stuff, what do you do with them? You've got no prison space, you've got no civil justice system, so what do? Line them up against the wall and shoot them. It's pretty goddamn terrifying.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's
Yeah, and it's like the last fuel used in any form of agriculture, and it'll be like that for hundreds of years afterwards. Like there's like literally a jerry can half full with like old fuel that they're trying to get into a tractor and get it running. You know what I mean? Imagine modern agriculture. It's all dependent on large, very powerful machines. Can't do that. You can't feed your own surviving populace because you just haven't got enough power to get in the fields. It's like, and I don't want to spoil, but there's a scene right at the end involving a hare that's really, really depressing. And honest to God, it like really sets the tone at the very end of the film for like just how fucked humanity is. Oh, sorry for swearing, by the way.
Oh, no, it's fine. It's perfectly fine in this channel.
Did you say hair as an HAIR?
Yes, like the animal.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's really, really, really depressing when you see what happens in it right at the end. You just don't. I want to get Baird to watch it because I think Baird would get it, but also I'd just tell him not to watch the last 5 minutes.
Oh.
Yeah, and I want to watch. I want to put up another one called Looking Glass, which is like which is a real thing the US government's got with like how they separate the powers for nuclear launch during the event, like say like the president or the vice president or other people die and stuff. It's pretty good.
Wow.
Oh. Yeah, I could also be doing. I could do the Saw series. I have access to all of them.
Nice.
The Saw movies. Yeah.
They're a bit creepy, more than a bit creepy actually.
Yeah, I know. but the name of this my midnight theater is a Buckets of Blood Theater. So
True.
Yeah, that's true.
So
I think Tremors would make a good horror. I know it's a comedy film, but also as a horror film, they go for Buckets of Blood because, well, some of the deaths and that are just amazing.
yeah, and I have a well, at the time when it was made, she was a family member who was a visual effects supervisor.
Really? That's
Yeah.
very cool.
Nice.
So yeah, my
Very cool.
She at the time when she worked on it and filmed it, she was a visual effects supervisor. Her name's Lisa Romanoff. So
Ooh,
yeah,
very cool.
so from the very first, she only worked on the first one, but she's got Vision Films that I could gain access with. I asked her, and she said, "Sure." She could give me access to all her stuff, and I was like, "Really?" I'm like, "Cool."
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
My sister used to work for a film and TV production company here doing hair and makeup design, but it's like she stopped doing it a few years ago now. But you will have seen some of her work if you're into like horror stuff.
Awesome. I don't know if either of you seen Hereditary or Midsummer.
Midsummer.
I'm definitely planning on doing those two. I would start with Hereditary and then do Midsummer, since I'm doing it every Wednesday and Saturday morning.
Nice.
Yeah. See, I got plans. I was like, my buckets of blood. Yeah, I'm gonna be known for my horror, sharing it with you all because it's just fun. and of course, midnight is the witching. Midnight and 3 a.m. So yeah, we might even do a double feature one time. What?
Ooh, a double feature.
Yeah, double feature.
Well, Joe, we were talking about the Cornetto trilogy before, by the way. I just thought I'd let you know the place to look out for in order. The first third of Shaun of the Dead, mid-third of the second film, and then the final scenes in The World's End.
Yeah.
They put it in, like, literally, like, in that order specifically, Joe. So it's like, this is one part, this is two part, this is three part. And it's like, as you didn't know, it's like they're all named after ice cream in the UK, Cornetto.
Okay.
It's like a wafer type cone.
Yeah, it's the
like-
one where his where his friend was eating the cone. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sean. Yeah.
yeah. It's like at the beginning, he goes, "Do you want anything from the shop?" Cornetto.
That was awesome.
Yeah, there's loads of like little bits you guys, I think it must be the same for us, like, but British culture that you guys don't see that are like subtle little nods. Like, I owe you 50p. It's like 50p used to be like the average pocket money that you give to kids, and it was enough for like a Cornetto. So it was like, there's 50p, there's a Cornetto. and all the what are the scooters lined up outside the takeaway shop, Joe, just where he goes into that scene. They're actually all the same scooters that were in 28 Days Later, but they've all got L plates on them, and that means that they're not paying full road tax or insurance for them because like they're all learners like plates for the delivery boys. Just all little like things like that, and it honestly God, it's like in Shaun the Dead, they meet the other half of the cast of Spaced, which is like the comedy that started Simon Pegg's career, and it's set in this like flat share where he's a comic book artist and he works in a comic book store, but his mate's Bill Bailey. Now, you might know Bill Bailey better as the voice of the whale in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Whoa, what is this thing? You know, where it's like where the whale's falling down through the sky for no apparent reason. And he's like a really surreal British comedian. And if you watch some of his stuff, it's amazing. Like he was in a comedy series called Black Books, and he suffered from something called Dave syndrome, where if he gets too hot, he ends up jumping up and down on cars, wearing Ugg boots. Yeah. Yeah, it's really surprising, but yeah, it's really good. And he done one about self-service tills in a supermarket in the UK called Tesco. And they're famous for like not scanning properly, when you're trying to scan the barcode on the back of your pack of spuds or something like that. And he peers into it, and it's got like a little Victorian factory, and then this woman just sits there, puts up a bullhorn off, and goes, "Please scan the barcode on your item," and just puts it back down again, and then he looks back in, and there's another guy there who gives him the finger.
Very cool.
Yeah, you've got. I think a lot of you guys actually like a lot of the more surreal British comedy, like Red Dwarf. Have any of you guys seen that?
Red Dwarf. I sound familiar.
The last surviving member of the human race is a Scouser, much like myself, from Liverpool, and he's 3 million years into deep space. His only companions are a mechanoid who used to clean toilets for a living, a hologram of a person he really hates, and a cat. But that cat's evolved. Yeah, and it's like they have some really, really weird, bizarre adventures. Like they end up going faster than light, and they end up seeing future echoes. And one of them's with Lister, and he's holding 2 babies, and he says, I know I can see you. I can't see you, but you can see me. Take a smile, boys." And he's like got a photograph of them and stuff. They go, it'll be great fun finding out how I get those kids. And there's one where he's an old man, like laying on his bunk, and he's got like a mechanical arm, and he's got like a puffer jacket made out of like tin foil. Joe, like cheap, like this is everything in like 80s version of the future. And he's laying there, and Rimmer's asking, going, "What happens to me, old man? What happens to me?" He goes, "Rimmer, I remember you were asking what happens to you. Come closer. Closer." Gives him the finger as he fades out.
Yeah.
And he goes absolutely apoplectic. It's really good. And I actually went to school with Craig Charles's nephew, who's the guy who plays Lister, who's like the main character of Red Dwarf.
Oh.
Yeah, we went mates right after boy. He was in my geography and maths class. Nice kid.
Have you ever heard of a movie? It's probably titled something different in the UK, but here they called it Baby Blood. And
no.
Anyway, this French gal gets pregnant by this demon and whatnot, and it's just creepy the way when you hear it in the French version versus English.
Yeah, it's French, so it's going to be creepy, isn't it? You know what I mean? Just listen to it. It's a dead romance language.
Oh yeah. But that's a great movie, and it's got some good gore.
Oh,
There was a British horror film a few years ago, and it was literally put on Channel 4 one night, and then it was pulled. I don't even think it got a DVD release, but it was one of the most gory films I have ever seen in my life. There's like literally a scene where a guy gets pulled into a lift mechanism. Joe, like Joe, where they pulled the machinery that hauls the cables up and down, for lifts and the counterweight and stuff. Not only does he get like pulled into like the winding gear, the counterweight, the big weight that's on the other end of the cable, comes down and like crushes his head, and it's one of the most gory deaths I've ever seen. But I think they didn't even give it a DVD release because the BBC FC said no.
Wow.
oh.
Yeah, I love those rare films like Cemetery Man, but it was called Dillo del Mortis. It was a French film, but it's just one of those weird odd ones. Really cool. Rupert Everett, isn't it? As a star.
Rupert Everett, yeah, I think I've seen this film, but it was ages ago.
Yeah,
I'll tell you.
1992.
Yes, I think I've seen it. I'll tell you another French film. I remember the name being in French, and it's like The Family, and it's set in like the French Alps, but I don't think it was filmed there, so it's due to budget or something like that. But it's basically like this German dude who stayed there after World War II, and he was doing some pretty nasty, messed up like eugenics experiments on the family. And he was like the grandfather of the family, and that was pretty goddamn gory. Yeah, so if you can imagine like how it was received, like in France, Nazi doing experiments on the French, it was not very well received, but it was a real horror film.
Wow.
Yeah, and there's actually a couple of like horror zombie films, like The Bunker.
Bunker?
Yeah, have you seen it? The one with the SS troops in this bunker, and there was like a massacre in the medieval period at times, and these like SS troops are like fighting zombies, which are previously
I think they called that Overlord. I don't know if is it recent? Is it a new one or is it older?
I think it was around 2002, 2003.
Okay, yeah.
That was older.
One. Yeah, it's an old one.
Yeah, it was good.
There was one recently that they called Overlord.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's like that one with all the mutated zombies and stuff. Yeah, that was a pretty good movie.
There's a First World War one. I can't remember. The Trench. That's it. The Trench. That's a horror film set in World War One, as if World War One wasn't enough of a horror show on its own. You know what I mean? But this is I think there's actually a lot of scope for horror films set in the First World War. But honest to God, this was horrible. Like there's a scene with barbed wire literally like growing through a guy's body. And like you're pulling them taut and stuff. And then there's another scene which is based on something that really happened in the trenches. Poor kids wounded, and obviously you can't evacuate from the lines, so they've got them in this like little. They were called sally holes, where they had like a bed and stuff like that. It wasn't very comfortable, but it was just somewhere to put to get out the way for a few minutes type thing. And he was covered in like they pulled like a blanket off him, it's like a sack or something like that, and the rats have eaten his legs because he didn't notice because he was shot in the bottom of the spine, so he couldn't walk, and they'd eaten like down to the bone, and that was like sadly a real thing that happened quite a lot in the First War. And can you imagine like the horror on the poor kid's face? Like it really sold like this is something that it was ultimately horrifying, like just down to the bone, gone, and rats everywhere.
Yeah. Sounds awesome. Like it.
Yeah,
I like it.
I'd love a horror story about the First World War, but something to do with gas masks. It's like the gas masks of people like hide their faces, but they don't have any face, if you know what I mean. Underneath the masks, something around that. I think that'd be a pretty cool, like, starting point for a horror show. Can you imagine, like, just a skull, but with like just flesh over it, like no eyes, nose, mouth, or anything like that. You know what I mean? Just covering the gas mask.
Yeah.
You know, that'd be a pretty nice like horror story type arrangement. And like the gas, like the whole idea of gas like seeping in and stuff. You know, that's pretty horrifying.
Yeah, it is very hard. Oh,
Yeah, it's like I know you guys are American, obviously, but I've read that I'm a huge history buff. Part of what I do is like your research in history, from like techniques and how the things were, how tools were used and stuff like that. And I remember reading the first account of Americans who come across mustard gas for the first time in the trenches. They were in a old section of the French lines, and the area had just been shelled by mustard shells by the Germans. And mustard gas, when it's cold, it doesn't have an effect. It clings to skin. It clings to clothing and stuff. Anyway, this guy went into a covered bunker area, and all of a sudden he started like letting off a yellow vapor, and his mates literally just threw jackets over him and stuff and kicked him outside. And it was because like the gap, he was inside where there was a bit of warmth from the fire, and he started like letting it off, and he died. Well, so he didn't die, but his lungs were permanently scarred, and he was the first American gas casualty in the First World War.
Wow.
Gas is like insidious. I think that'd lend a really good horror aspect to any sort of like horror film set in the First World War. Because picture it, you can't normally see gas. It's silent, it's deadly, and it can hang around for ages. Yeah. Like there's pictures of like entire trenches where early in the war, like 1915, when the Germans were first experimenting with gas weapons, they used to like let them onto giant bottles, and it used to flow with the wind. But sometimes the wind wasn't strong enough to push it, and it just looked like a smoke barrage that had been let up. Anyway, after a while, the wind got up again, but it sunk the gas down to the bottom of the trench, and people who were in a higher level of the trench further back were all right, but all you could see is the mates just dropping dead, like hocking up blood and stuff like that. And there's a picture of this trench just with like hundreds of dead Frenchmen, and you can see where some of them were trying to pull the mates out. Like literally, they died while they were like pulling the mate's collar, trying to get them out of the gas. It's pretty horrifying. Some of the imagery.
Not bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, I think there's like a lot of fertile ground there for stories, and they don't even have to be that horrifying, especially with the background set in World War One.
No, yeah.
Like if you think about it, that war depopulated enough young men that were still feeling the effects today.
That movie that they just came out recently, 1917, where it was shot when continuous. I mean, that was pretty horrific. When they showed the scenes of death, I mean, it was like, whoa, that's just outrageous. And I was amazed, and it was like, wow, that's just awesome.
In France and Belgium today, they still have what's called the Iron Harvest. They're still finding like enough unexploded munitions to like literally they just pile them up at the end of the field, and then the French and Belgian armies come around and collect them and dispose of them. But these are everything from like just normal explosive shells to like gas shells that are still viable. Like there was people last year killed by a landmine left over from World War One. They were literally just walking through the woodland and they managed to trigger a landmine. There's that much of it still hanging around. It's pretty goddamn terrifying.
I'll be right back.
It's honestly got some of the stuff you see here, like that is still found. Like they still find fairly regularly bodies of soldiers just like in shell holes. It's like where they crawled in, like after they were wounded, and they just died and they got covered up and nobody recovered the body. So you're still finding bodies of soldiers over 100 years later. It's not like onesies or twosies. It's fairly regularly. That's how many people died during that war.
Yeah, that's It's brutal.
Yeah.
That was a brutal one, and yeah, I mean, all I know is that the Germans were they he was uh, he was brutal because he was definitely for the element of surprise against his enemies, and yeah, so I think that's what made World War One so just
Yeah.
creepy and
Yeah,
ugh.
it was a meat grinder. Like we're still feeling the effects today. It's something like Europe's population is lower today still because of the amount of young men who died in that war. It's like there's literally whole towns where streets were just empty. Like before the war, these were like big bustling industrial towns. These streets were still empty, and they were still empty after World War Two. You know,
Oh
yeah.
wow.
It's like a lot of people don't realize, like Joe, if you're not from Europe, like, but there's parts of my town I can walk down and it's like house, 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 like terraced houses, like big long strips of old, like your Victorian era houses built for workers and stuff. And next thing you know, there'll be 2 or 3 missing houses. And if you look at the map, that house took a direct hit during World War Two. You know what I mean, Joe? And it's like there's a church in Liverpool city centre which is called the Bombed Out Church because it was hit by an incendiary round and it burned down. And it was only opened a few weeks before the war. You know what I mean? And it's now got like trees growing inside it and stuff. You know, it's turned into a bit of an event space, but we're still seeing the scars. Like there's beautiful old buildings in town. There's like you can see where they've had to do like a patch during or post war because the brick's slightly wrong. You're like different size brick, or they had to like use a lower quality stone for the repair.
Right.
And it's really weird. Like Joe, when you're not native to the UK or stuff like that, and you point it out, like I've got a few Australian friends, and they come to visit me, and I was like, well, there's bomb damage there, there's bomb damage there. The reason that dip's there, that's bomb damage. You know, we're still feeling the effects today, and it's like, what, 70 years since the end of World War Two, over 100 from World War One, you know, and we're still feeling the effects to this day, and people don't realize it's got like a real psychological impact on various nations.
Yeah.
That's true.
You know, it's like, and that's that is horrifying. You know, when you realize it, it's like, I know there was rationing in America during the war, but there was nothing like in the UK. My dad remembers his mum in 1955 saying, right, okay, come with me, you lot, and he grabbed me, dad and his 2 brothers, and they took him to the shop, and she said, this is the last time you're ever going to see this. And it was a ration book, and it was the last week she had to do shopping before rationing was gone. And it was like so much, you could have so much milk, so much bread, so much meat, various different things, and I've still got it upstairs, and it's like the portions are ridiculously low. Like for a working man, you were entitled to 1 pint of full fat milk a week and something like 1/4 of a pint of cream and 3 ounces of hard cheese. You know, so you can imagine like how much of an effect. Like my dad says, like I'm 6'5", right? I'm very tall, very well built.
Yeah.
But my dad's 5'11", and his brothers who were slightly older before they died. They were all like 5'9", 5'10", and they reckon from when they were talking that the reason they're shorter is they didn't get like enough food when they were growing during their early years. You know, like that to enable them to grow up and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They were malnourished. And then,
I wouldn't say malnourished. I'd say undernourished.
okay.
If you catch what I mean.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like where I used to have a workshop down in the old docks in Bootle. Liverpool was like the big shipping port, right? And there was a sign that someone had preserved on the inside of one of the old buildings across the way. And it said, people found looting food stores from the docks will be arrested by the police. And in the early days of the war, it says summary execution is a possibility. You know what I mean? So people weren't able to feed themselves, and if they were working on the docks and they saw like a container of spam coming in from the States, you know, it's like, well, I'm hungry, my kids are hungry, why not just slip a few into my pocket? You know what I mean? But
Yeah. Oy.
it's like I've just on the topic. I've got. I used to have a firearms license, which is something you've got to have in the UK to be able to own a rifle.
Okay.
And I had a friend who worked in the gun shop. Now we don't allow handguns in the UK unless they're deactivated or the cap and ball, like American Civil War style revolvers.
Right.
But he had a sticker that he saved, and he had the gun deactivated. But when they got made illegal, and it was a gun to defend the British home, and it was something that you guys in America, you're all like after the retreat from Europe, we lost a lot of firearms. So there was a call put out in America and other places, like, if you have a spare weapon, do you mind sending it to us? And he's got it still preserved, stuck onto the side of this gun. It's got like the guy's name who was shipped on. I think it was actually from San Francisco, like to like a different to like who it was given to in the UK, and it's pretty goddamn interesting seeing it. You know what I mean? That's how like fearful it was. And bear in mind, we were the world superpower at the time. You know what I mean? We went from literally owning 70% of the landmass of the earth to like, oh shit, we haven't got enough guns to defend our homes. It's like the fear factor in that was amazing.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah, so it's like, I think a lot of stuff like that would make good ideas for horror shows, if you know what I mean, because
Yeah.
you go from
definitely.
like you go from all the power to none of the power in literally the space of a few months.
Oy.
I know they made Creepshow into a series that's on Shudder, and I've watched the whole season, and it's amazing. I can't.
Is that the one that's set in a? Or am I thinking of American Horror Story? Is that the one that's got like a different like premise every season?
No. This is entirely new and different.
Right.
It's Did you see the original Creepshow by George Romero and Stephen King?
Stephen King.
Yeah.
I think I might have, but I can't remember.
It's an anthology, but it's a series, and it's broken. They break it. It's like 30 minutes or something long, and they break it up into two different parts.
Oh,
But
okay.
it's just so good. So
Yeah, but
because it's a lot of them are directed by Greg Nicotero.
oh, nice.
So
So
yeah,
definitely,
it is really good, and it follows just like the original Creepshow movie.
Nice.
That's pretty
So
Yeah, the first two movies were good, and then I know they did like there was a third one that was
They
almost
did
like,
the third one.
but it was like a very low, like it was just like right away on DVD kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So they didn't have enough like follow through for it. They just went, well, we got the script base, we'll just film it and then release it, and that's it, type thing.
Mhm.
Pretty much, yeah. It was like for the third one, but yeah, I don't think it got much for that one. But yeah, for sure, the first two were hands down great movies.
Yeah.
I tell you what I'd like to see as films. The Governor from The Walking Dead, he's got like spin-off books from the comic.
Yeah.
How he became the governor. That they're really good horror stories, like just on their own, like how the governor evolved.
That would have been interesting. Yeah, I'd watch that.
Yeah, it's like if you haven't read the books, I won't spoil it for you, but the governor's name isn't the governor's name.
Right.
It's his brother's name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and the little girl isn't his little girl; it's his brother's little girl. The zombie little girl, Joe, who you see in the TV show, Joe, where he's like combing her hair and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a real big part of the story, and it's well worth a watch.
Huh.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think there was two books. One's called I think the first one's The Road to Woodbury, and that is actually really good, and you can probably get it for like a couple of quid now on Amazon. I got
Was
it when
it
it was
the
in the shops.
Train to Busan?
Oh no, I've not seen it, but it's on my watch list. I'd love to see that. I've heard that it's really gory.
Well, I have access to that, so we just might do a watch party.
Ooh.
So
Ooh.
yeah.
I want to watch the Army of the Dead again, the new film based on Romero's stuff, because I when I watched it, I was sort of like in my workshop as it is now, and it was on like a big projector screen across me where I was doing work, but I caught that scene where he's jumping across the casino tables, and then literally about an hour after I finished watching it, I saw someone else put it up online and said me escaping the library after I put the cooking books in the women's sports section.
I enjoyed it. So yeah, and that's definitely watching it again. So
Yeah, and the thing is, though, I think they put it in kind of well at the beginning. Joe, there's that guy who's like a TikTok or YouTube star. Joe, is like he breaks into the city and he like and he does like YOLO swag influencer type stuff. Joe, while he's killing zombies, because I could picture something like that happening. You know, if there was like a zombie outbreak that was contained into a city, I could sort of see that sort of thing happening.
What about Valentine?
That tiger. That was creepy. What didn't he mocap one of the Tiger King's tigers to do that, or base the design off it, or something like that?
I don't know.
Yeah,
it's cool.
I heard it was like CGI all the way through, and then they had some guy like being in the suit doing all the tacks and all that stuff. But yeah, it was all motion captured from like as many shots as they could get from a real tiger. Yeah,
that was cool. I'll tell you what, though, Joe, the guy who hates that tiger, I loved them in the other Romero remake, the one where they're in the the one where they're in the shopping centre and he's the asshole with the boat. He was the same guy in both films.
With that not I was gonna say like maybe is that the remake to the Day of the Dead? Yeah, it was
a remake. Yeah, that's it. The remake of Day of the Dead.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like him, and the thing is, he was actually the guy who put them onto Richard Cheese. You're the guy who does the metal songs and the big ballroom style stuff. Joey, like he done Down with the Sickness. Joe was like a big band style thing.
Wait. I'm got myself. No, that would be sorry, that would be Dawn of the Dead, because that was the one with the mall and everything.
Yeah,
that was supposed to be set in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Yeah, Dawn of the Dead. Yeah, that's that remake for that Snyder did for George Romero.
Yeah, they're good films. They're really good films. Yes. I like the fact that they had that. I can't remember his name. He was the black guy who was a cop in the original. And he played the priest at the beginning. Like the dead are returning to the earth. Seeing that is actually really good.
I think if I remember correctly, wasn't that that was Ving Rhames, I think.
Yeah, I'm not good with actors' names unless it's like
he's the one that I don't know. Did you ever watch like the Mission Impossible movies?
Yes.
Yeah,
anyway.
I think. Yeah. So yeah, he would be. He's the one who always helps out Ethan all the time. For the most part. Yep. Yeah. He's the cop, I think, in if I remember correctly, in Dawn of the Dead remake. Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, at the beginning, there's like the guy who was the cop in the original. He was like older now. He's like, I think he was in his like 50s or 60s at the beginning of this, but he was in the original one. He was the tall black guy at the beginning.
He's
doing the hell will open its gates and the dead have returned walking the earth. That guy.
Yeah,
hell is overflowing.
Yep, Ken Foree. He was the original guy in the other one. Yeah, he's that. Well, that one scene is still like you always feel bad for him. Is that one scene with his buddy? Going through those trucks and he finally gets bitten, and then like he gets all that blanket and he has to shoot his buddy. Like
and in the remake, that scene with the baby.
Oh god! Oh god, that was horrifying too.
Oh yeah. I've actually never. I think that's the only time I've ever seen that sort of thing addressed on film. What happens to the baby if, like, a pregnant woman's munched on by a zombie? You know, that's like a fertile ground for horror, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen Peter Jackson's The Dead Alive? What's it called? Brain damage.
No, I don't
other
think
parts
so.
Of the world, yeah.
I don't think so.
It's
I
quite
have to
the
watch
gory
that one.
film.
Yeah, I remember
I
hearing
love
about
it.
that because, like, wasn't there like an ear or something like that get like it flops up in his soup and he's like gonna eat it or something like that?
Oh yes, I have
Yeah.
seen it. I have
Yes.
seen it.
I kick ass for the Lord. It's a horror comedy, but I love it.
I'll tell you what's a comedy horror film that you.
Yeah,
I'll tell you a good Peter Jackson comedy horror film. Bad Taste.
yeah.
Bad Taste. It was his first film, and he filmed it on like weekends with his mates.
Right.
And you got that. I just love the beginning where it's got like obviously like the powerful like government guy sitting there instead of like just a cigarette like pipe, that you put ciggy in. It's got like a biro taped onto it and a McDonald's straw and stuff like that. And then it's got the ciggy at the end, and he's got like his claw hand, and it's going down the speed dial on the phone. It goes, "Me mum, the Queen, me nan." The boys. And he presses it, and next thing you know, it's like it cuts the scene with the weird science guy who like scoops his brain back in and sellotapes it onto his head. And at the end, it's spinning up. He goes, "I'm coming for you!" And he's got like the chainsaw in his hand.
Wow.
Oh man, that's an insane film. I'm gonna have to watch that later on today. You know what? I was going to do some work today, but I can't be bothered. I think I'm just going to watch some films.
Right on, brother. Right
There you go.
Yeah, well, as I said in the live chat before, I'm moving out my big workshop and moving into a much smaller one. I'm selling a lot of my equipment, so I'm trying to sort through what I'm keeping and what I'm getting rid of. So it's like, do you like when you saw family photos out and you find like something old, cool, like you thought you'd lost? It's a bit like that for me, but with tools.
Cool.
Yeah. So it's like I actually do site closures. So when a business closes down, I go in and buy anything that's left over, like tools, machinery, and stuff like that. And I've just got this stack of vices, and I've got some vices in there which are kind of expensive, rare, and collectible. But I know for a fact if I start going through it, I'll be like, I'll just fix this one up a bit. And next thing I know, it'll be like 3 a.m, and I've got like 10 vices in different stages of reassembly and painting and rust removal and stuff. So I don't particularly fancy getting into that today because I just want a day off.
There you go.
Like on a Wednesday night, I was on bed. I was finishing something up, and I think Jedi Bill was on actually. I was doing some work, and I had my oxyacetylene torch out like 2,300 degrees C temperature, burning about 8 inches from my face while I was cutting up some. I was cutting some steel off an old lathe. Oh, by the way, Jedi, this is just a quick off. You were comms in the army when you, if I remember you saying on Bird's Full Metal Jacket stream.
It was what?
You were radio communications in the army, if I remember you saying something like that on Bird's Full Metal Jacket stream.
No, I wasn't.
Oh, that wasn't you, right? Okay.
That wasn't me. No, I never served.
Ah, right. Okay. I can't remember who it was then, but I had a question because it's always something that's bugged me about when you hear them say "actual" on American radio communications. What does that mean?
Yeah.
It's like you hear it on like anything like like American radio comms. When you watch film TV and stuff. I've just never known what it actually means. I've never got a straight answer from Google. It's like you ask a question to Google and you get like 20 odd different answers. So I thought I'd ask someone who actually knows.
Yeah.
So have you guys got any plans for the weekend then, or are you just going to be streaming as and when?
I don't know. I don't know. I just do well, for the weekend. I do spontaneous streams and whatnot, and I join a lot of other. Weekend I just kind of relax and hang out and chill out on other people's streams and whatnot. Chat,
Yeah.
just enjoy myself.
Yeah, it's like I think I'm just going to relax this weekend. I've been working too hard all week.
Nice.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, on Monday I got a call that I could get something for like less than scrap price, which I can just restore really quickly and get out because I've got parts from another machine I can nick. So that's what I was doing on Wednesday when I was using the gas torch. But it's like I shouldn't have done it. Because I had a 3-hour drive to Birmingham, load up the bloody thing, pull it back to us, and I was like, "Oh shit! Now I've got to get the beam lift out and try and move it out the back of the van. Oh, I can't be arsed." Plus, I'm living in the caravan in the workshop in the back of the workshop as well. At the minute, I think you guys call them campers. Yeah, it's like a trailer. That's it, trailer. I've got one like in the back of my workshop. I'm living out of that at the minute. So it's like my commute is literally like I wake up and walk over to my bench, but I'm like, oh, I don't really want to work.
Right.
It's horrible, isn't it? It's like when you wake up and you're like, oh, I've got all this work to do, but it's right there in front of you, and you know if you leave it, you're just gonna have to come back to it later on.
Right. Well, it's getting late and I'm getting tired because I've been up all day, so I need to get some rest.
Okay. Well, good night, guys. It was lovely speaking to you all, and nice meeting you, Taylor.
For sure. Nice meeting you, the last Victorian.
Yeah,
Great.
call me Charlie.
All right, cool. Nice meeting you, Charlie.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you, Charlie.
Yeah, no problem. Well, I hope to see you guys soon. And when you do the Dawn of the Dead stream, I will definitely come on because that is a Shaun of the Dead, because that's one of my favourite films.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. All right, later, guys. See you soon.
Later,
Take it easy, man.
guys.
Later.
All right.
All right, Joey Bill, man.
Okay.
Take it easy, man.
Good night, man.
Good night.
Everybody out, chat. Thank you for coming. Join me for the next Buckets of Blood Theater. See you later, folks. Bye.